KY to place your catering order today.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Digicel Business. Get everything your business needs in one package with Digicel Business Hub.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning. It's 24 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you, Silver Fox, for putting us through. I know you've been having a little difficult time this morning. Good morning to our listeners and our viewers of YouTube. This is the Thursday segment of the Business Buzz. Today's April 29th. Where did April go? In the studio this morning, it's a work of a collaborative work between the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association, Life Limited, and Radio Cayman. In the studio this morning, we're pleased to welcome Ms. Juliet Austin. She is the Executive Director of Literacy is for Everyone, or we can shorten that and say LIFE. And she's joined by Mrs. Nicola Williams, who is the President of the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Anita.
They're here so that we can learn more about both programs. What a collaboration.
It is an amazing collaboration, and we are absolutely delighted and excited by it. So we've got a lot to talk about this morning, about our early years, thankfully. It's a conversation that we've been wanting to have in the kind of public domain for years.
Oh, here you are.
Here we are.
And that was the voice of Ms. Juliet Austin. Now, let's start with Nicola, because Miss Austin, you've been here before.
I've been here before, Anita.
So we'll pick on Nicola first this morning. Nicola, good morning.
Morning.
Good to have you in the studio as well. Now, share some information on the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association and the main focus, the main aim of the organization.
Yeah, so the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association was started in 1997 by a group of early childhood educational professionals who had the foresight and the dedication to start a professional association, a professional organization. It's a registered nonprofit with the mandate of really spreading awareness about the importance of the early years and advocating for high quality experiences for young children, learning experiences and care for young children birth to age 5, and engaging organizations too, who are working to support young children and their families, and also through professional learning at our monthly meetings.
Okay. Now, do you have a curriculum per se that you use?
So the Cayman Islands has the Cayman Islands Early Years Curriculum Framework, which was put out in 2014. It's an amazing document, very developmentally appropriate, based on the current research in the field. And it's a very helpful tool as well for the preschools.
Okay. What's your slogan for the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association?
We are to enhance the care and education of young children living in the Cayman Islands and to engage stakeholders to come together in active cooperation.
Okay, so now I'll move the mic over to Ms. Austin. Ms. Austin, can you tell us a bit about Life Organization? The vision, the mission, the goal.
The vision and the mission. So Nobel Peace Prize recipient Kofi Annan talked about literacy as the road to human progress and the means through which every man, woman and child can realise his or her full potential. So that really ties in with Life and Life's slogan, which is literacy is empowerment. Everything we do is about empowering members of our community. So, our basic quality of life depends on the ability to read, write and comprehend, communicate with the world around us. Communication is currency in our 21st century world. So our mission is to make that sort of significant impact on literacy levels. We're a grassroots organisation, but we want to be agents of change. So we've got this vision of contributing towards raising the quality of education in public schools and across the lifespan, really. And it's because of the consequences of illiteracy that, we're very, very passionate about what we do. Illiteracy, low literacy, it's the driver of inequality. It poses these serious socio-economic consequences for Cayman. So, this is imperative in my view.
And you've been a teacher most of your life, Miss Austin.
I have. I
have to mention that.
You do, because I taught your gorgeous daughter, who's far too old for me to discuss that. So that really hurt.
Well, you have age.
But yes. So education is vital. Top of the agenda, as far as I'm concerned, for really building a healthy and a healthy society.
And you've been an executive director with Life for how long?
Oh, it's been since October, since you started here, Anita.
Right.
So
it was the first time you came in.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
it's not been long, but it's been a whirlwind.
So how has it been going?
Well, no, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And this program that we're going to be talking about is really what we've been working towards the entire time. It's the culmination of really a lot of thought and planning for many, many years with my wonderful predecessor, Marilyn Connolly, who during her tenure kind of started the ball rolling. So we're really excited about this.
So how did you manage to as we would say, get hooked up with Nicola? How did that start?
Well, we've so Life has got this long-standing relationship. We've always had this relationship with Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association. So we've sort of attended the events that they host and whatnot. And again, Marilyn Connolly worked with the association to get. Was it Right Start? What was the?
Yeah, Smart Start.
Smart Start,
yes.
Smart Start going, which was more a sort of community-based initiative. But they have their pajama party at Cayman Bay, and we walked in the parade with them at the beginning of the week. So we've just had this long-standing relationship. So when I came on board, I'm like, she's my girl.
I see why now. We see why. Now it sounds like you have a great time working together.
We do.
Putting all of this together. And you're working on, we're going to get into it a little bit later on,
sure.
Thrive by 5.
Thrive by 5.
Thrive by 5. But before we do that, let's see if Paul is ready to take a break. No, he's not. He is. No, he's not. He's not. So
no problem.
But before we throw it to Paul, I want to say thanks to our sponsors this morning. Can't do this without them. No. Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. Now, early childhood programs. What is the importance of offering early childhood programs?
Well, it's a very exciting time for early childhood. Large global organizations around the world are turning their attention towards the importance of care in the early years. UNICEF, United Nations, OECD, the World Health Organization. Mm-hmm. And as a result, early childhood care and education is getting to the top of political agendas in so many countries around the world. So it's a very exciting time. Most of the renewed interest in it, or the new interest in it, has to do with the research from neuroscience. With advancements in technology, we understand the brain better than we ever have before. And that research in neuroscience is showing how important the early years are for building healthy brains and helping children to reach their potential. And then in economics as well, James Heckman, he won the Nobel laureate for his work in investment in childhood in economics. Conducting research that resulted in the Heckman curve, mm-hmm. which shows that for every $1 a country invests in early childhood, they can expect a return of at least $7 in the future savings with the criminal justice system, with healthcare, with those kinds of things. So we understand now that investment in early childhood is a really important opportunity to make future society as the health, wealth, and safety of future society to be the best that it can be.
And that is something all governments should take note of?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Should. Yeah.
Should.
Yeah.
Definitely should. Now, I think we're going to take that break. So, thank you, ladies. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Business Buzz. In the studio this morning, we're speaking with Ms. Juliet Austin. She's the Executive Director of Literacy is for Everyone, Life, and Mrs. Nicola Williams. Nicola is the President of the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association. We go to break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion right here on the Business Buzz. And you know what? We'll discuss the annual Week of the Young Child celebration when we come back.
2020. Unprecedented times, uncertainty, and literally a new way of life.
Life happens, usually without warning.
That is why making sure that your family is insured is so important.
Cayman Insurance Center, 47 years strong, working to protect your family and your most valuable assets.
Whether you need to get a quote, renew a policy, or file a claim, Cayman Insurance Center is here to protect you and your family.
For more information, call 949-4657. Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, health, motor, and other lines of insurance products and services at affordable rates.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you. Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. On the buzz today, we only have one segment, and on this segment, it's Ms. Juliet Austin, Executive Director of Literacy is for Everyone. I love that. Life. And Mrs. Nicola Williams. Nicola is the president of the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association. This week, I wasn't even aware of it, that it's the annual week of the young child, and the week will end tomorrow. So since we've already gone, events have gone past, let's have one of you ladies recap.
Yes, so the Week of the Young Child celebrations, our association, the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association, is affiliated with the National Association for the Education of Young Children in the United States, and they started celebrating the Week of the Young Child. And so we join in the celebrations here in the Cayman Islands. We start the week with a parade through Georgetown, which is really exciting. We have the Scout marching band, and all the preschools come out, and families and young children, and march through Georgetown.
Was that on Monday?
That was on Saturday morning. And we finished on the steps of the government building, where we sing We Are the World together. It's a lovely, absolutely lovely morning. And we'd like to also thank our sponsors, Nighthead, who provided a little gift bag with children with a book in it and an apple and a water, and to also Cauchulas for donating the water for the event. And then we have the church service, the opening Thanksgiving church service. And so this year it was held at the Church of God Universal, and we're very grateful to them. And then Miss Tammy Hopkins, Acting Director of Department of Education Services, declared the Week of the Young Child open for the 2021 celebrations. And then from there, we have activities throughout the week in the preschools, children coming to school in their pajamas on Monday, and Tuesday morning life and other volunteers going into the schools to read, and visiting Big School, and play all day on Friday, which the children really look forward to. We usually have a reception at the governor's house, but this year we're not having that. And we also have a conference every 2 years during the Week of the Young Child, which we will resume. We were planning an exciting conference before the COVID-19 pandemic, and we look forward to resuming planning of that and having that conference.
So tomorrow is play all day?
You play all day.
I want to play all day tomorrow.
You and me both.
And so what age group did you have in the march on Saturday?
So it was mostly children who attend preschools on the island, but all members of the community are invited to join. Life marched along with us and so on. So mostly the families and their young children come, and we gather, and we gather by preschools, and then all the preschools have a banner, or the children make flags and that kind of thing, and then they march through town. It's very nice.
That.
Yes,
I absolutely missed that. What was the theme for the Week of the Young Child this year?
It was starting strong. The early years matter for every child.
Starting strong.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. Okay, so let me get to the nitty-gritty of Thrive by 5. This is the early childhood program. Thrive by 5. Who's going to go first?
Oh, me, please.
I see your finger up, and that finger is, well, Ms. Juliet Austin. Okay, Thrive by 5.
Yeah, so we've been working on sort of all the preliminary work is underway right now. But Thrive by 5 is an early childhood literacy program. We've carefully selected 8 preschools that we're going to go in and offer this program. So it focuses on, if you think that from, when a child is in the womb to age 5, that period of growth in a child's life is unparalleled. There's no other time during a child's life when that, enormity of growth occurs. So we need to get in at this point and create language-rich environments, make sure that wonderful socio-emotional bond with books is sort of firmed up in their minds. So Thrive by 5 offers a kind of 3-pronged kind of program. The first thing that we do is we go in and offer our, life's kind of signature curated classroom library. So we make sure that books are everywhere in the schools. And these are really, really meticulously curated. So we've got this wonderful volunteer who has gone through and made sure that these books are reflective of our wonderful multicultural society, that they're, diversity is at the focus of everything we do. Inclusion is a focus. So it's important that the children see themselves in the books that they read. So we offer those wonderful classroom libraries, and then we offer professional learning. So this is very, very important. So currently, government mandates that in the preschools there need only be one teacher with a license to teach, just one, per every 10 members of staff. So we wanted to offer these learning opportunities for teachers and teachers' assistants. This is, as Nicola will attest to, this is one of the most highly specialised fields in education. So that license to teach does not even need to be in early childhood education, which seems to me a little bit sort of crazy. So when we offer this learning opportunity, we're sort of focusing it around a sort of 10-point program. And Nicola's helped us devise it. She's an absolutely amazing, inspirational early childhood teacher and educator and resource for us. She's absolutely phenomenal. I'm delighted to partner with her. So we've got a video education series, and we've had contributions from some of the island's most sort of specialists in education. We've got Yosha Alphonse from the Ministry of Education. We've had the wonderful Dr. Pauline Burrell, Fran McConvey, our collaboration with Cayman Arts Festival, Rena Jefferson, who's just you know, she's a god.
And one of our founding
literacy.
members, too, of the association.
Yes, and she's on our life board as well. So, you know, we've had Jeffreen Small from a village Montessori come and do one of the videos. And we've also recently, and we're very, very excited by this, Shannon Seymour from the Wellness Centre is going to be offering for free the literacy and communication element of what's called the Growing Brain. So teachers will earn 2 certificates as a result of completing this course, and the third. And I think the kind of element that I'm really, really excited about is the family engagement. You know, readers are born in the laps of their parents. It's not, it's not something that you can renege upon as a parent. So we actually train the preschool teachers to offer these what we're calling miss the traffic sessions, where families can get an idea about what can they do to support these foundational literacy skills at home with their little ones. So it's things like establishing those reading routines, making sure that they offer those reading role models at home. So, you know, it's a wonderful programme. We're very, very excited, and we'll kick it off, you know, with our governor's reception in September on World Literacy Day on the 8th of September.
Do you have a date this yet?
8th of September.
8th of September.
Yeah, very excited. And, you know, we're going to be celebrating these teachers who, you know, are often not recognised. Anybody, as Nicola has said time and time again, anybody who is looking after a young child, whether they're a caregiver at home, a parent, a preschool teacher, a teacher's assistant, in my view, you know that I think all teachers are heroes. But, you know, these early childhood educators have the most important job, you know, out there, and we need to celebrate them.
Miss Austin, you're such an awesome teacher. You've been an awesome teacher. And I have to tell you this, and I have to say it publicly. My daughter, we were having a conversation a few nights ago, and she said, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, where did this come from?
I would love her to become a teacher. That would be amazing. We need to open up these pathways for young people to enter the teaching profession and the early years profession. Nicola can talk a little bit about some of the training that's available. But yes, please, if you could get your daughter
you know,
to do that.
And I'm sitting here speaking with you, and I'm thinking to myself, this is where she's got it from Miss Austin. Over the years.
I think I played a very, very small role. You know, educators...
You might be surprised.
Educators are heroes. They really are. They're on the front line, and they deal with so many of the children's needs, from education to, you know, their home needs.
Before we go to break, I want to ask Nicola. Nicola, you must have mentioned it before, and I missed it, but how did the partnership with Cayman Life come about? Life, sorry.
Yeah, so as Juliet was saying, Life has had a relationship with the association through Marilyn Connolly, both attending our professional learning sessions, donating books to preschools via the preschool teachers at our association meetings, and through joining us in the celebrations of the Week of the Young Child, particularly the pajama party, which we usually hold at Cayman Bay. Life has always had a booth there with books to give out to young children as they come into the pajama party, and reading stories as well.
So do you wear pajamas as well?
I try and make it a habit, actually, Anita. I do believe very much in pajamas as a way of life, yes. But, you know, giving these books, you know, I'm so proud of Life. You know, we've given away in excess of 41,000 books into the public school system.
41,000.
Over 41,000 and counting to the public education system. So we're really delighted, and our sponsors, so Intertrust Group, sponsor classroom libraries for every single primary school in the government sector. You know, we've got Deloitte, who's sponsoring this entire Thrive by 5. They've had the foresight to invest in our future. And, you know, if you're not looking at the statistics that, you know, we know in terms of brain development, they're out there. But, you know, like Nicola said, if you want to talk dollars and cents, some people believe in dollars and cents over other things. it just makes the most brilliant economic sense. You're getting a return of, $7 to $1 invested. Plus, you're building this stable environment.
That's right.
Yeah, so not only is it, I believe, a moral and ethical responsibility to ensure that these young children get the care they need and deserve, for their well-being, it's also a lucrative investment. So it's something that countries around the world need to act on, and many are.
All right, we'll take that quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Business Buzz. In the studio this morning, we have Ms. Juliet Austin. She is the Executive Director of Literacy is for Everyone, Life, and Mrs. Nicola Williams. Nicola is the President of the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association. Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
2020. Unprecedented times, uncertainty, and literally a new way of life.
Life happens, usually without warning.
That is why making sure that your family is insured is so important.
Cayman Insurance Center, 47 years strong, working to protect your family and your most valuable assets.
Whether you need to get a quote, renew a policy, or file a claim, Cayman Insurance Center is here to protect you and your family.
For more information, call 949-4657. Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, health, motor, and other lines of insurance products and services at affordable rates. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, in partnership with the Lions Club of Cayman Brac, will be hosting a prostate and colon cancer educational awareness meeting this Friday, 30th April at 7 p.m. at the Brac Reef Resort Meeting Room. The guest speaker for the evening will be Dr. Gurish of the Faith Hospital. Royal Medical and Wellness Center will also be present to offer PSA testing. Come out and be informed.
Business Buzz. Anita Khan.
It's 9 minutes until 9 o'clock. Good morning. If you're just joining us, this is the Business Buzz. And in the studio, we have two lovely young ladies. Miss Juliet Austin, she's smiling. Miss Austin is the executive. I can say that, Miss Austin.
Thank you.
Because I've known you for so long.
It doesn't happen often.
She's the executive director of Literacy is for Everyone Life. And she's joined by Mrs. Nicola Williams, president of the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association, and it's just simply amazing to discuss literacy, especially when it comes to the young ones.
Absolutely.
And I know Nicola is raring to go about this. Nicola, let's talk about the importance of literacy and about the role language can play in the development of a child's learning.
Yes, sort of many people think that learning to read and write begins when children can crack the code, as in when they can read and write words. But literacy learning begins long before that, even before a child is born. They recognize stories read to them while they're still in the womb. They recognize their mother's voice, even their mother's native language, and prefer those things when presented with books that are familiar to them and their own mother's language. So language is the foundation for early literacy. And there's been a trend in early childhood care and education as children started to enter large group care in larger numbers. Educators decided that it would be an opportunity to enhance or to increase literacy skills by teaching what they need to learn later on in relation to cracking the code earlier. And our intentions were good, and we thought we'll give the children a head start in cracking the code. And so we tried it, and we studied it very well, and we've discovered that it was backfiring on us. presenting children with isolated technical aspects of reading and writing at a very early age is actually quite stressful for young children. And it interferes with their pleasure and dispositions, positive dispositions about reading and writing, which they're born with. They love reading and writing. When we gave them books, even I was saying in the gift bag on the steps of the government building in the parade, they all open it up and start reading the books. And the looks on their faces, even this week, when we went in on Tuesday morning to read in the preschools, when they're handed a book, especially a new book that they've never seen before, the excitement. So children love talking language. And social interaction is the basis of literacy. It's the foundation. And those experiences, even just exploring literacy and the purposes, children are very purposeful learners. And so if you share with them and point out to them the purposes of learning to read and write, the purposes of learning to speak are very obvious. The child wants their bottle. It's on the countertop, and they learn to say bottle. But the purposes of reading and writing aren't as apparent to them. So as educators, particularly in early childhood classrooms, we want to point out to them how print can help people, how print can help us organize ourselves, and how we can record information that someone can access when we're not around anymore. So we can communicate in those ways. And so it's really important to focus in early years on the pleasure and purpose of literacy and reading and writing and how print can help us, and really focus on exploring. And play is the major mechanism for learning in early years. Play and exploration and relationship. Absolutely. And there's nothing better than sitting on their mom or dad's or grandmother's or their caregiver's lap and listening to it and enjoying a story together. It builds positive emotional connections to books, to literacy, and that's a powerful motivator because it is an enormous task to crack the code, to learn how to encode and decode words. It's a big task for young children. And so all this rich experience assists them in this massive task, and this motivation to learn to read and write, and this conceptual understanding of language and literacy. All those things all form the foundation and assist them as they learn to crack the code. And then once they've cracked the code, reading and writing is about learning as well. And I always say, what's the point of teaching children to do something if our method of teaching them turns them off what it is we're trying to teach? And so in the early years, the focus should really be exploration, enjoyment, purpose, and pleasure. And that will set the children on the track to not just learning to crack the code, but to loving and literacy for their entire lives.
And even at my age, I get a book and I'm excited.
Well, exactly. And, you know, I mean, you'll know that as a teacher, I've always said the heart should lead. You know, when children have positive relationships, when they love something, they will follow it to the end of the earth. So if you can instill that love of language and literature and books that early, it will never go away. You've created a lifelong reader.
We have a caller.
Oh, we do?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Anita. Thank you for hosting.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Good morning for calling.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling.
I cannot tell you how exhilarating it is to hear your discussion points this morning. I do come from a family, like my father was a teacher preacher, and I come from a home of books as a part of menu from in utero, and I cannot express the gratitude to the treasure that you're passing on to youngsters in a time when they are so distracted by so many other things, where books become a part of their early lives, direct their ambition, ignite imagination, creates a whole set of language skills that they would not have developed otherwise, and enables them to be able to craft thought process, dreams, fantasies, and develop a string of ambitions because of a story that has been read to them, which leads them to go read, and then the germ continues because they pass that book virus, probably not said properly, but they pass the emotions and the tremendous privileges to read to others. As a matter of course, I have determined that no more toys, and I do, as my family has a tradition of giving away, I won't put a numerical figure, but it's substantial each year in terms of books to youngsters who are underprivileged, those who are not necessarily accessible to the funds to go secure books, and reading a child's personality and seeing what could suit them and invite them to go on in the literary path. I cannot tell the teachers amongst you or guests how much we appreciate this.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. That is just so wonderful to hear.
Teaching is a very unrewarded profession.
Yes.
It is challenging from a number of perspectives. Sometimes the children are dumped on you for you to take care and give them parental guidance, and you become an adjunct parent while trying to do your normal teaching duties, minus the resources that you need. You actually craft our next generation inventors, scientists, and those who are going to assume political office. And sometimes with absolutely no plan.
No, and
so difficult.
could I just say that it's so lovely to hear that you give away books and whatnot, because, you know, we really believe this. That's, you know, why family engagement is so important. It does take a village to raise a child. And, you know, if you can have these, you know, even if it's not books, if you can enter into these wonderful, rich conversations with children, even, you know, babies have the most beautiful serve and return conversations with you. They may be babbling, but this is all vital to their development. You know, and we don't want access to quality education. You know, it's the UN Sustainable Development Goal for 2030. The goal number 4 is about quality education being a basic human right. It can never be about money. In our country, our wealthy nation, education and access to education at this vital stage cannot be about money. So we've got all of these preschools, you know, and they're being inspected by the government. The only school in the whole of the Cayman Islands to receive an excellent, they charge in their preschool, you know, around $12,000 a year for that. That's a hefty sum. So are we saying that quality education is just the realm of the wealthy? I can't accept that. So it's so wonderful to hear that you're taking on that kind of community responsibility and that you've got that love and passion for reading that you're passing and paying forward. Thank you.
I cannot tell you enough thanks. It feels very gratifying that other people think like we do. Part of my inheritance as a child was the keeper of books and newspapers, which came from some of my antecedents, plantations, back in the 1800s.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
I have been gifted these, which I've given to something, our museum here, but also given them to, I'm sleeping for the next generation who's going to receive them, and books from the 1700s. So,
wow.
And then teaching our youngsters what it takes to make a book.
Yes.
So my child from 3-4 years old has been to Cayman Free Press to see what it takes to make a book. And going back to the old days of letterpress. So I cannot thank you enough. Anita, your service is invaluable. You're reaching an audience that it is at a critical time. And thank you so much for doing this. Because
Caller, I want to thank you so much. You just pushed me into overtime, but it's good. All good.
We like that.
You know what? I know who I know the voice, so I know who's on the other side of the line. We'd like to maybe invite you to come in and have a good discussion with Life and, of course, Nicola.
Most certainly, because it is by reading that we have our next generation be equipped to take on the world around them and enable them to transcend their circumstances.
Yes.
There's so many youngsters who are economically handcuffed to bad circumstances. But a book and a story has set them free in their minds and created so much ambition that they break those handcuffs later on because a story is read to them and because a book feed it to them. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, caller, and we'll be sure to be in contact with you, okay? That's a promise. Thank you so much. Ms. Austin, I know you had some things to say about with regards to literacy issues.
Absolutely. I mean, the caller mentioned devices. We would just urge any adults that are in around children, take time with children, look them in the eye and have a conversation with them, offer them this rich language experience and be that role model. So put books in your home. It's been proven again statistically that being surrounded by books like the caller just described can have a massive impact on a child's future academic achievement. Just having books, just being in proximity to that sort of bookish environment.
Just smelling the book.
Absolutely.
Just smelling the ink.
We just want to encourage people to do that. We're offering this program not to teach children to read. That comes in its own time. Let's not push them. Let's develop this beautiful, rich culture of communicating and listening to. Be an active listener. Listen to your child. If the only time you get to spend with your child after you've worked a long day at the office is in your car, put books in the car. Put books everywhere. Put books in the garden. Put them wherever there are children. Put books. They love to read. Nicola just said, you give a child a book and boom, they're hooked. So we've got to sort of, blow this misconception that children do not like to read. Children love books. And if they don't, it's just because we've not offered them maybe the right sort. Non-fiction, graphic novels. Keep offering your child this beautiful, varied diet of books and they will respond, and the benefits are just extraordinary.
Nicola, we are way over time. Just a quick word from you to wrap up before we end.
Yes, and I think our caller too made an excellent point about early childhood education, or about the importance of teachers. And big part of what our association does is try and elevate the status of early childhood educators. In many countries around the world, when a child turns mandatory school age, even their teacher's salary sort of almost doubles in many countries around the world. And it's not just about money, but part of that discrepancy in compensation is sending a message to the community that teaching younger children is not as important as teaching older children. When in fact, if you were to make an argument, you'd make a better argument for the opposite. Those first 5 years are so important for young children. And so we have partnered with the University of the West Indies to offer a certificate program in early childhood care and education. And it's important too to recognize that the first 5 years, it's a unique stage of learning and development. And the teachers of young children need that specialized training in order to provide young children with those experiences and be able to implement all we've learned in research.
And on that note, I'd like to say thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you.
We'll
Anita.
definitely have you back.
Us.
And
Fantastic.
also our caller and see where we can go from there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we
Anita.
do appreciate all you do for literacy.
Thank you.
Especially in the Cayman Islands. That was our guest this morning in the studio, Ms. Juliet Austin, Executive Director of Literacy is for Everyone Life, and also Mrs. Nicola Williams, President of the Cayman Islands Early Childhood Association. I want to say thanks to both of you, and also to our caller for his input as well. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. The listeners, the viewers on YouTube, Silver Fox in the studio, and of course our producer, Miss Susan Watson. Thank you so much. Join us next time for another show on Tuesday. Stay tuned for Radio Cayman's headlines, which is late, and following that, breakfast session.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Digicel Business. Get everything your business needs in one package with Digicel Business Hub.